Welcome back to Cinema Sitdown. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have...
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
I'm Sam. Hello. That way.
Oh, this way.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Katie.
And today we will be reviewing the 2011 classic Adventures of Tintin, right after this intro. All right, welcome back. So I think I want to start out the discussion today with, I want to discuss the animation style of this movie, because it is going for like that realism, but still with that stylish edge to it. Like you can really see it on like the characters' faces, like Haddock's nose on the screen there. I feel like those like kind of over-exaggerated features are really like a key aspect of this movie. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Sam, you go first.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
It was too uncanny valley for me. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't. Like, it was just like, there's a part of it's like, okay, this is like cool in concept, but I don't like looking at it.
Really?
But that I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I didn't mind it. It was okay. Because it kind of reminded me of the Polar Express a little bit, because it had similar, in that, or the Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol. That was a little more
and
animation.
I didn't like either of those.
Yeah.
So I guess that's consistent.
I didn't mind it, but at the same time, with something like this, it made me, now, given some like the chase scenes, this actually answers my question a little bit more, because they would have dialed it back, but every time I wonder, why can't they just do live action?
Yeah.
Because there's like, some of it would look really great in live action, you know, the realism feel to it. But at the same time, it's a very fun kid-like adventure. Well, sort of, they had guns and stuff in it, but
Yeah.
It's kid-friendly enough.
Kid-friendly enough, I guess, for like a teenager maybe. But I didn't mind it. It was okay. It's just there are certain points where it did look actually real. But then I could see why what they were trying to do with some of those chase scenes that you could do live action with that, but especially back then, it would have cost you an arm and a leg. Whereas now you could probably get away with it. Things like, you know, like Uncharted had done similar things. But you know, that was my thoughts on it. Okay.
I feel like you can tell a lot, like especially with the captain, like. It does show a lot of like realness to it. I really liked Christmas Carol. Because I am a child at heart, yes. But I can't kind of have a feeling like forgot the dog's name.
Snowy.
Snowy. I feel like Snowy was kind of.
Snowy's immortal.
Yep,
that's true.
We can talk about that later.
I don't think that's true.
That dog should have died so many times.
I don't think the dog's immortal. I feel like the dog kind of reminds me of my dog. At some point.
Oh, like how smart it is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because like at some point,
Katie's a smart dog.
In the movie, like it shows like how I was surprised how Snowy can find out like where Tintin was.
Yeah, no,
and like how to like help him escape. But like the fights, I kind of got confused on certain points. But I really liked it because I'm more into like I watch other crime shows, and I get why they made the fights like real, kind of look like
the way they were made. Yeah. Yep.
I was gonna say that the animals absolutely carried this entire movie. The only reason anything ever got done was because those animals made key important decisions the entire time.
I loved every moment with all the animals, with the exception of the introduction to the Rottweiler. Because like he was chasing Tintin, all of a sudden, I'm sorry, but a Rottweiler would not roll on their back for a poodle.
No, absolutely not.
They would not roll on their back for unless, like I said, unless Snowy's immortal or he's got some kind of look in his eyes that another dog will see that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. Snowy is an otherworldly being that is here to protect Tintin specifically. But that's the only explanation because that dog is insane.
The one scene I kind of remembered when Snowy was protecting Tintin with the what?
With the what?
The
the
Rottweiler.
dog.
Oh yeah, with the Rottweiler, yeah.
Yeah, with Rottweiler, because I was like, because my house kind of like, if I pet another dog, my dog goes crazy. Like saying you should not be petting that other dog.
My cat's like that.
Or whatever. And my dog would like go after me and like jump on me. So you shouldn't do that. But I feel like maybe that was kind of realness to the movie, saying like, hey, this is my owner.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, but
like,
that Rottweiler would have torn. With the way that it was running, I think it was in attack mode. So the fact that it was just like, oh, I'm sorry.
But I really loved like everything else. Like that one I couldn't really buy, but everything else I was like, okay, the rest is pretty cool.
I mean, the fact that then I think that all of them should have died very quickly in the movie. I think I said that already, but I still stand by that. Those people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I just had a thought maybe that's like another reason why it might be animated and stylized, just so you have that little bit of suspension of disbelief where it's like, yeah,
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah,
this probably won't happen. But then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's very true, and that's actually a really good point to that, because I never really thought of it that way, because we are talking about a lot of these most ridiculous things that you would never really see, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, well, to me, like, there's like a ton of just slapstick humor throughout, where it's
Oh
like
my
people
God.
getting
Those
knocked
police
down.
officers?
Thompson, my goats.
When they were with the wallet scene where they find the klepto, I was like,
that was a little.
That scene is so funny. I love that scene so much. There's like a lot of very like small funny bits throughout this.
Yeah,
I
they
think
had
that's
like good humor. I wasn't expecting the humor to like be like hit because sometimes in older movies, like I say older, it's 2011, not that old, but like it's pretty old.
13 years. Yeah.
13 years. But in like older movies like that, especially early 2000s, sometimes the humor cannot like hit or like land as well as it does as it would with like nowadays or like with like newer viewers. But I feel like a lot of the jokes that they made still landed pretty good. Like, of course, there were probably a few that were like, okay. But there was a few, especially when the Captain and Tintin were like talking a lot. Like, Tintin's reactions to the Captain's saying things, like, it was like, oh, where'd you get that from? Like, I think I was kind of losing it about that. That was really funny.
That
but,
to me is why I think the comedy is so relatable, is because it's a lot of physical comedy or like verbal physical. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Captain especially, like, he would do certain things I just like, couldn't help but just roll my eyes and giggle a little bit. I'm like, oh my god, this is funny.
You know, and I think that's honestly, I think that's like the dialogue at least. That's definitely from Edgar Wright, because this is written by Edgar Wright.
Yep.
And that's kind of like it very much feels like that snappy, humorous dialogue that he's kind of known for. That
and like the quick dialogue, especially the main character, Tintin. Like, who voices him, by the way?
Jamie Bell.
Okay, because he does so well. Like, because it reminds me a lot of Edgar Wright's, like how quickly people talk and like to converse between one another. It reminded me a lot of that too. And he did a terrific job. Whoever voiced Jamie Bell, who voiced Tintin. I hope he'll come back. I mean, he's a lot older now, obviously, but I'm pretty sure his voice hasn't changed that much to be able to come back. So, no, he did a great job.
Yeah, I think performances in general, honestly, are very solid throughout this. Like, very solid voiceover performances from the entire cast. Like, Haddock is very, very distinct. Andy Serkis does a great job.
I thought it was Andy Serkis.
No, it's Andy Serkis. Yeah, he does a great job at portraying him. And then Daniel Craig's great as Sakharine the villain. Yep. Doing this really like kind of hammy, traditional like swashbuckling villain.
Yep.
Some very, very good stuff there.
Something that I really liked, I thought was kind of funny, like I was laughing about this, but every scene that the main villain was in, like especially the one with the hawk and like the glasses and like the dark stuff, and we're like, I think that guy's the bad guy. But he looked so cool. Like, I was like, I can't even be mad that he's the bad guy because he looks amazing. Like, if I feel like I'd also be like, yeah, you know, if I look like this, like, all the time, if I have, like, a cool aura all the time, I'd be like, you know what? Villain.
And he has a hawk. I mean, what's cooler than that?
Yes.
I mean, right?
And he has a hawk.
How can you beat that, right?
I know. I don't know how that, like, that's what I mean, but the dog and the hawk, the two of them, I don't know. That dog probably wouldn't have survived in, realistically, to be honest, especially with a hawk.
And honestly, like, so this is my second time watching it personally. And sorry,
I was gonna say that I feel like maybe it's a mix of Peter Pan a little bit.
Because the adventure feel to it.
Yeah, because like
it does give that vibe.
Because like the villain,
and also with, like the pirates,
it kind of gives off that like feel.
Yeah.
And like in the beginning, I am a crime show nerd. I watch a lot of crime shows, but in the beginning, it feels like when it started off, and then it got to more like the fighting stuff. It felt like there was more like mystery to it. Then I was saying like, oh, I have a feeling what's gonna come next, and I'm feeling like I have it. Like, I don't know why, but I have a feeling like this is gonna be something with like a lot of fight scenes and a lot of intense stuff to it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it just kept getting more and more intense as the movie went on.
And that's why it's fun how everyone who's like, whenever you view it, you view it a certain way. Like, it reminds her of something like that. For me, it's just like every like treasure hunting movie. Like, of course, you have Goonies. You have
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones
from Spielberg.
Yeah, from Spielberg himself. But also, it reminded me a lot of what's the Nicolas Cage one?
National Treasure.
National Treasure. It
I
really gave
could
me
see
that,
those vibes.
It gave me that feel, like the rush to find the clues. And again, that just goes to the performances and the story. I think it really keeps you interested and invested with leaving the breadcrumbs to find out the mystery.
Yeah. I want to talk about the action scenes in this film because I think that they're super well directed. I feel like, for me at least, they were all pretty clear. I feel like I had a good understanding of what was happening, but there's still so much going on. Like, I'm thinking about the pirate fight, like that whole ship battle. I think is immaculate. I think it's a beautiful piece of cinema.
Go back on like the humor thing. I like that the fight scene with like in the past where they were lighting the gunpowder on fire and they kept like knocking it out and like relighting it and then putting it out again and lighting it, putting it out again. I like that type of thing where it's like it's not really acknowledged that it's supposed to be funny, but it was. It was very funny. But it was just I made this comment. I was like, I feel like every time I think I know where this movie is going, I'm wrong. Because I feel like it just kept taking turns that I wasn't expecting it to, which isn't a bad thing. It kept me interested. It was just really funny. I liked it.
Yeah, I think there's like this great like escalation between the fight scenes. So like we start out pretty simple with like just kind of
little chase scenes,
few hand to hands, maybe like I'm thinking like the initial like fights on the ship.
Okay,
where, like Tintin's escaping, and then we get to the end where there's a flood coming in. They're riding all throughout the city. They're ziplining with the motorcycle.
There's a tank.
There's a tank there.
And then at the very last one, they're using cranes to basically like
fight each other,
battle each other. It was
And that's one of those things with the tank is like that physical combat stuff because like it's rolling through, all of a sudden it just falls over, like it out of nowhere.
And then it just like falls out. It's just like, man,
okay.
Just little moments like that, I feel like really make this film special.
Yep.
Just a lot of small moments.
One of the ones that really stuck out to me that I laughed at the most was when they were on the plane and
oh my God.
The Snowy and Haddock were like drinking
alcohol. That also encouraged me to think that this dog is immortal. just to add some more to it.
Just saying.
Lore, okay?
I feel like that one time when the captain was in the boat with Tintin and Snowy, and he decided to lit the boat on fire.
Oh my, yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Well, first he knocks him out with the oars.
Yeah, then he's
accidentally.
Like,
thinks he's sleeping.
No one wants to work.
wants to work.
I don't know why he would think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
He's drunk and stupid.
He was drunk the whole time, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. And then he decides to flip himself into the water.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then there's a fight scene.
Yeah, and then there's a plane that they shot correctly to take it down the first try and the only try that they had. That kind of goes into like being able. The animation gives you like a whatever you said.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
where it's like
that's what I meant.
But I don't really care because it's cool.
Yeah.
I think that scene is like the bad news, Captain. We only have one bullet, and like, what's the good news? We only have one bullet, and he aims it, and they shoot. I think that's like the coolest thing ever.
That was the only thing about Tintin's character is like where you're getting into like character development, but also just character in general. Is that a lot of the stuff I bought because he's a journalist. He can figure out a mystery like that. He's an investigative journalist. What it sounds like, but just be able to shoot one shot.
A plane.
Like, and then being able to fly it like right after. It's like, oh, I interviewed a pilot once.
I did this, and now I can fly. And I'm like,
it's like, I'm willing to put that aside. I'm having fun.
Burping into the engine.
I know that's
very goofy.
Oh,
but like I don't. mind that it's goofy though. I'm kind of fine with it being a little bit silly.
I didn't mind that part. It's just for some reason I couldn't like. It's just a bad like a negative part for me for his characters to be able to just one shot. Like I was fine with the I don't know if I thought it was because I thought it was funny maybe with the gas and the burping.
I do think it's funny that this is all in the. I don't know what the gun laws are like in the UK. But
they're very strict.
I thought that they were more strict than they looked like in this specific
Modernly,
movie.
now, yes. Back then, no.
Okay, never
back
mind.
then it's probably going to be pretty.
Okay, because I didn't know what it was, but it was kind of funny. I was like, okay, so everyone just has a gun. Okay, like just conveniently, there's always a gun right there.
Yep.
Here's a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was a journalist. That was his like original thing. Was like, yeah, I have it for my newspaper. At the end, they mentioned it. Like, you can put this in your newspaper.
He's an investigative journalist for the newspaper.
I just thought his hobby was just like reading newspapers.
Oh
no, his newspaper's on
he's a journalist.
Oh.
I did also think for a minute at the beginning with like the Tintin like newspapers they showed on the wall. I was like, oh, so he's like involved in like the police because he is so investigative in like finding all these things.
He's
But no, he's just an investigative journalist
who just so happens to like catch a bunch of evildoers.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
All right, well, interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. A lot of that is from a lot of like the stuff at the beginning at least is from like the actual comics themselves.
Yeah.
This is based on a comic that Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg really liked a lot, so that's why they made this movie.
You know, that's the best way to do it.
I definitely gotta read those.
I do too. Dr. Newsom is like the biggest Tintin guy.
Oh, really?
And I need to get on.
Should have had him up here.
I should have really. I should have thought I had
to come on down. Come down.
But I didn't. But yeah, I had one more thought. What do you guys think of the music?
I enjoyed. I mean, it really gave a adventure feel to it. Like I love it hit right where you needed it to.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the composer was.
John Williams.
Oh, of course I loved it. That's why I loved it. I mean, anything John Williams does is incredible. I mean, his legacy speaks for itself.
Of course.
So I mean, yeah, I should have assumed that since it was Steven Spielberg. But no, I loved it. I think it was great. It really pulled on your heartstrings where you wanted it to. It made you feel excited when you needed it to. And also, I think it really did well with. It kind of went in the style of Edgar Wright. Maybe it's because he wrote it, but like there are certain moments like when the music would swell, like something would happen that kind of matches it in a sense.
Yeah.
Like I love moments like that. For some reason, just if I don't know how, it sounds weird to say this, but it feels good when you see something like that. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's just a thing with like movies and stuff. It's just like the swelling. But that definitely does feel like kind of inherent to like these adventure type movies where it's like the music swells after something big happens.
Yep.
And I think it's really good. Honestly, just in general, this movie's kind of stacked in terms of cast and crew.
It does have a lot going for it.
I mean, like you have Spielberg directing, you have Peter Jackson producing, you have John Williams on the score, Edgar Wright writing.
I mean, holy crap.
It's like completely like star-studded, and yeah, I feel like this movie.
Did this thing get nominated for anything?
I think it got nominated for Best Animated.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't remember if it won. I don't think it won though.
I don't think so.
Because it was 2011.
Yeah.
I don't remember what would have beat it out, but
I'd
it definitely got nominated. I know for
yeah.
sure.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. But then we do have that sequel coming out you were talking about beforehand. Like,
we were all discussing it beforehand, and apparently it's greenlit by Paramount. So it's Peter Jackson gonna be directing. Is slated for 2027 as of right now. So
wow.
I'm very, very excited for that.
I'm hoping that it happens.
This is one of my personal favorites as a kid, and even now watching it again. This is probably my, I want to say 10th viewing.
Wow.
Something like that. This is like one of my movies.
One of your favorites.
That's like my jam to just like put on and be like, yeah, I'm having a good time watching this.
This was my first time ever watching it, so it's interesting.
First time I watched it in theaters when it came out, and that was the last time I saw it. So it's kind of re-seeing again. I remember a few things.
You're old.
I know.
Well, I watched it
I know. I was, how old was I? 22, 23, somewhere around there.
Goodness, I was a fresh 9.
22.
I was gonna say I was
9 years old.
7.
Oh my god.
So,
thanks guys, I appreciate it.
At the Cinema Sitdown, make sure that you feel old. If
know,
that's not what we do here, I don't know what it is.
I appreciate it.
Let's do it.
But I mean, overall, I enjoyed this movie again, seeing it again. I'd probably definitely recommend it to anybody who loves adventure films or treasure hunting films. I'm just excited to see what they do with the second, since they now have the coordinates for the whole treasure, not just a hat full of it.
It's required, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, what were your final thoughts?
I would say I really like it if I need a really good thrill movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more like, I don't know why, like I used to be that type of girl who would watch all romantic movies, rom-com. Now I'm more like anything.
Yeah.
I'll probably give this like probably like an 9.9.
Oh wow! Wow! All right.
I was gonna.
You'll love to
I
hear it.
forgot to get my score. I mean, that's. I'll give mine an 8.5. I
That's
still
fair.
enjoyed it. I
That's
had a
perfectly
great
fair.
time, and I'm actually looking forward to it. As long as they make it, I'm looking forward to the sequel.
Sam?
I'll do an 8 minus 2 points for the animation that I just don't like.
That's fair. That's fair. It's not for everyone, right?
Yeah, but the immortal dog, it does help.
Snowy
Add some
really,
points.
Snowy really like, yeah, Snowy.
Snowy
and Tin-
carried.
Yeah,
Snowy
he's
carried and-
completely.
Anyways, I
Yeah.
feel like we know your rating.
Yeah, my rating is like a 9.5.
9.5?
Yeah.
Because
What is your favorite?
Well, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I can see the faults. The animation's like a little bit dated by today's standards. It's just,
Honestly,
I
no,
think
I
so.
thought it looked amazing for
I
for
just-
today's.
I mean, like, yeah, especially for the time.
I just
think it looks
personally don't
fantastic.
like
It's just
it.
like, there's like
It's
a
just
few
a me
faces.
thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think the Sam said is something they don't personally like, but
Doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
I think
I just
honestly
don't like
it
it.
looked really good. Honestly.
It was really cool when they did close-ups with one of
Oh
the
yeah.
fights.
It made it also
Yeah.
look like with I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have to stop
I
talking
was
now.
gonna say, yeah, we gotta wrap it. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Cinema Sitdown. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.